very strong muscularity. His arms were overpowering. Big flaring quadriceps. Phenomenal calves. Good shoulders.
Dave Palumbo here, and I have a very special announcement, although I'm not going to tell you what the announcement is, but I'm going to tease it a little bit because I have one of the greatest interviews I've done in my life coming up. One of the most anticipated, at least. Maybe not one of the greatest, but one of the most anticipated interviews in all of bodybuilding. It was 10 years in the making. I'm not going to say who it is. He is a legend. He is a well-liked figure in our, I guess you could say, in our subculture of bodybuilding. And he is a person who's not afraid to speak his mind. You guys will have to stay tuned for this one because it's going to be a great one. Welcome back to Muscle in the Morning, brought to you by Iron Mag Labs. Make your mark. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Friday, June 2nd, 2017. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. Historically in sports, from year 1 to year 2 is when you start to see most athletes make the jump and really start to figure things out. But when you've got a guy like Alexis Rolon who burned up the IFBB stage at every opportunity his first time around, that second year surge starts to take on an entirely different feel now, doesn't it? Late last week, some new back training footage surfaced of a very focused looking Rolon as he starts to round himself into mid-season form in preparation for his 2017 debut. Last year, all Rolon did was put together 2 eye-popping performances, including a second-place finish down at the Tampa Pro that gave eventual winner Akeem Williams just about all he could handle. Rolon is an absolute beast no matter which way you spin it, and I have no doubt in my mind that what we saw on the plate last year was just a little more than an appetizer for what's still yet to come. There's an old saying that goes something to the effect of, if you're the biggest guy in your gym, then you need to find a new gym. But when you're as big and as nutty looking as 212 powerhouse Delev, that's a whole lot easier said than done. This week, some new arm training video leaked of a ridiculous looking Delev knocking out a few preacher curls as he continues to blaze a path toward the upcoming Chicago Pro. With 2 pro wins and a handful of Olympia appearances already under his belt, it's no secret that Delev is as good as they come when he's firing on all cylinders. And now that he's heading into the season fresh after a pretty solid layoff, you'd have to think that he's the man to beat heading into Chicago. Ask anyone who's managed to make it through the grind that is called the pro season, and they'll tell you bodybuilding is 100% a marathon and not a sprint. And it looks to me that 212 standout Milton Martinez knows how to come out and set a pretty good pace. Late last week, some new video emerged of a very sharp-looking Martinez being put through the paces in the gym by none other than our old friend Don Long as he gears up for mile number 2 of his contest season. Back at the Charlotte Pro a few weeks ago, a much improved Martinez wound up taking 9th in what turned out to be a surprisingly deep lineup. And if he can manage to dot a few I's and cross a few T's before the next time he steps on stage, I think there's a very good chance that his streak of 8 straight top 10 finishes will stay intact. Now that the voluntary NFL OTAs are officially underway, things are starting to heat up down in cowboy country. But if you ask me, all that it pales in comparison to the kind of heat we're going to see a few weeks from now when Kang rolls into town for the Dallas Europa Pro. Late last week, some new leg training videos surfaced of a nutty-looking version of Kang as he gears up for round 2 on the season. Remember, it was just 2 years ago that a virtually unknown Kang came in out of nowhere to dominate this same 212 event down in Dallas, just a few weeks removed from scoring his pro card. At his best, Kang is probably one of the more underrated guys we have in the 212 division right now. and I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if he winds up bringing home another win and punching his ticket back to the Olympia stage. We've got a lot of chess pieces shuffling around on the classic physique chessboard right now, but I've got a hunch that most of these rooks aren't doing much to scare off Sadik. Despite keeping a relatively low profile through the early part of the season, inside sources are telling me that the reigning third-place Olympian is already way ahead of schedule. Some new shoulder training footage shows a very thick-looking Sadik putting himself through the paces in another one of his legendary torture sessions as he prepares to bring his talents back to the Orleans Arena one more time to silence his critics. Sadik's first foray into classic physique was pretty damn successful by anyone's standards. But if he's going to make a serious run at the title this year, now is the time that he needs to start kicking up a few more notches.